Hello again, third part of today's first update. Hopefully you have seen first two parts and find those videos informative and interesting. And dear friends, before I start, let me uh, ask you, if I may, to click that like button and leave some commentary just about anything. This is the only way we can at least try to influence algorithm, which is extremely aggressive. And first news that I want to share in this third update is that Antony Blinken, head of U.S. Diplomacy, State Department, before start his flight to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, made statements about situation in the Middle East and call Israel, um, somewhat call Israel, not to escalate further, although his call was made in such a way that I find it difficult to wrap my head around. You tell me if you have any different understanding of his statements. United States is calling on Israel to strike back at Iran in a way that prevents tensions from escalating in the Middle East. This was stated by the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken before flying to Riyadh, capital of Saudi Arabia. So I don't know, man. At this point, I'm really mm, losing any understanding of the logic behind the statements that we are hearing from the West, especially on some major topics, including this unfortunate tragic escalation in the Middle East. Antony Blinken, who is, in my opinion, asset of Israel, like many others in U.S. political class, which is clearly compromised, and I guess vast majority of our community will agree on that. So this person, Antony Blinken, is calling Israel to strike at Iran in such a way that will not provoke further escalation. How crazy is that? Uh, I don't know. If Washington was really interested in de-escalating, in the escalation in the Middle East, they will call Israel to restrain, to exercise restraint, and not to escalate further with additional strikes on Iran or Lebanon or Gaza or Syria, but not. Antony Blinken literally said that the United States is calling on Israel to strike back at Iran in a way that prevents tensions from escalating in the Middle East. How are you going to strike? And then hope for less escalation? I don't know, man. I don't know, and that's why probably everybody is sick and tired of these so-called Western elites, right? Um, it is very important, and this is quote, that Israel responds in such a way that it does not lead to a further escalation. He was quoted as saying by France press agency, despite what is happening, there remain a unique opportunity in the region to move in a completely different direction, which implies a sustainable way to ensure Israel's security and its place in the region. Saudi Arabia could be at the center of this process, which includes a potential normalization of the relations with Israel, Blinken added. Speaking about the killing of Yahya Sinwar, the leader of the radical Palestinian movement Hamas, by the Israeli military on October 16, the head of the State Department noted that now is the time to turn this success into long-term and strategic success. According to Blinken, quoted by Reuters, the Jewish state has uh, things left to do. Has two things left to do: bring their hostages home and put an end to the war. Understanding what will happen next. Well, I don't know if anybody understands what Blinken is talking about. Maybe this is some sort of damage control. Biden's administration, U.S. political class, is trying to uh, create this illusion that they want peace. They care about innocent, tens of thousands of innocent people that are being killed by Israel. And they're trying to create this illusion that they want some peace in the Middle East and they escalate. But in reality, in reality we'll understand that none of it is true. If Washington really was interested in peace, they would not send any additional weapons or money to Netanyahu's regime, right? And Netanyahu will have no option but to start looking for some peaceful solutions. But while he is receiving all the military and financial support that he can get from collective West, especially US, UK, France, and so on, maybe France a little less nowadays because of the tensions between, at least on an open level, on public level, between the two regimes there. But still, as long as they are receiving whatever money or weapons they are requesting, Netanyahu has no incentive to de-escalate anything, especially because once these wars will end, most likely Netanyahu will end up in a jail, right? So I don't know. You tell me. Maybe you understand better what Blinken is talking about. How you gonna call someone to strike another country in a manner that will not escalate situation any further? I don't know. If you strike another country, that means you are escalating, obviously. And unfortunately, as I said in the previous updates, many times, true de-escalation is nowhere in sight when it comes to Middle East, and this region is getting closer and closer to regional war as time goes by, and that's exactly what Western ruling class wants: regional war to shut down navigation in the Persian Gulf, as I said many times earlier. Uh, Western ruling class wants a regional war to shut down navigation uh, through in Persian Gulf, through Hormuz Strait, and to cut off China, first of all, from Middle Eastern energy sources. That is what is happening, and that's why Washington, London, and other major capitals in the collective West are doing basically nothing to influence Netanyahu's regime and to de-escalate. Also, we have this report from RT that Hamas says it won't reveal identity of the new leader. Quite understandable move because they are naming new leader. That person is most likely killed by Israel. Hamas will choose a new leader in March, but will keep their identity, individual's identity, a secret for security reasons. Spokesman for the Palestinian militant group has stated until then the group will be run by a committee of top officials. So that's the information in regards to this group. Also, dear friends, unfortunately, yesterday there was a terrorist attack in Turkey, in Ankara, which left several people dead and more wounded. So several people have been killed and wounded in attack on their headquarters of the defense and aerospace company near Ankara. Turkish Interior Minister Ali Yerlikaya said on Wednesday a terrorist attack was carried out against the Turkish aerospace industries. TUSAS, that's the name of company, as far as I understand. Ankara, Kashra, Mankazan facilities. Yerlikaya wrote on her post on X. Unfortunately, we have martyrs and injured people after the attack. Video footage shared on social media shows an explosion at the facility, while gunfire could be heard in some clips. Multiple gunmen could be seen in several videos and photos holding rifles equipped with suppressors. At some point, these attackers took hostages, and when SWAT teams, special forces, basically arrived there and conducted counter-terrorist operation, at least two of the gunmen attackers were killed. Hostages were rescued, and the Turkish president, by the way, decided to shorten his visit into Russia. He is in Kazan, and he will flee Kazan today due to this terrorist attack and escalation in Turkey, and almost straight away Turkish Air Force start targeting in Syria and Iraq Kurdish militant groups. When I saw this information, first reaction was that maybe these attackers were members of this Kurdish militia. Um, so let's translate this news. Also, let's translate this news also. So for more details, Turkish Air Force strikes targets of the Kurdistan Workers' Party (PKK) in Iraq and Syria after terrorist attack in Ankara. On October 23, 2024, Air Force operations was conducted against terrorist targets in northern Iraq and Syria to prevent terrorist attacks on our people and security forces by neutralizing their PKK and their other terrorist elements. In total, 32 objects belonging to terrorists were destroyed. Operations will continue, the Defense Ministry of Turkey said in a statement. On Wednesday, as I already mentioned, terrorist attack took place in Ankara on one of their enterprises of their TUSAS Aerospace Corporation. 5 people were killed and the 22 injured, including the special forces who participated in the assault. Interior Minister Ali Yerlikaya said that their authorities have serious grounds to suspect PKK of organizing and carrying out these terrorist attacks. So, further escalation in the Middle East, and probably Turkey will continue its airstrikes, and possibly we will even see ground operation of Turkish army against Kurdish militias in Iraq and Syria. TASS news agency is also reporting that Russian President Vladimir Putin stated that a comprehensive agreement with on cooperation with Iran will be signed in a relatively short time. This is obviously very important because uh, there is some ground to assume that this agreement may include bilateral uh, mutual protection act, basically, which will further enhance our military cooperation between the sides, and there can actually play a significant role to bring the peace in the Middle East, if that's going to be the case. So the comprehensive strategic partnership agreement with Iran will soon be signed uh, in ceremony, separate ceremony. This was stated by Russian President Vladimir Putin at the meeting with Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. This meeting took place yesterday on sideline of BRICS summit. We will soon be able to consolidate the results achieved with the new major international treaty on comprehensive strategic partnership between Russia and Iran, he said. He also expressed gratitude to his Iranian colleague, for accepting the invitation to pay a separate visit to the Russian Federation in order to sign this document and other important documents in a solemn atmosphere. Separately, basically. I don't know what this even means, by the way. My English is, I have to say, my English is quite bad, isn't it? Let me translate. Oh, solemn atmosphere means торжественная atmosphere, celebratory atmosphere, right? Anyways, very important developments, obviously, and as I said, dear friends, as I said, it is a possibility. It is possibility that in this agreement there will be points about bilateral or mutual protection in case of foreign attack, which will, I believe, plays a positive role to bring peace and stability to the Middle East, because I doubt that any country will dare to attack Iran if it has such an agreement with Russia. Uh, you know. Anyways, let's continue. One may say, dear friends, that Netanyahu's regime is so out of touch with reality, so out of control that they are capable of any provocation. They are capable of literally anything, and I can see why such an opinion can be popular among public. But yet again, if Iran will have a mutual protection act with Russia, uh, still, I think uh, even Netanyahu and his associates will think about doing any strikes on Iran, uh, because I don't think they really want to become a full-fledged enemy of Russia. Let's continue. Let's continue. RT is reporting that Trump accuses UK of, which is quite interesting, by the way. Trump accuses UK officials of election interference, according to Politico's reporter. So the UK's ruling Labour Party is interfering in the US presidential elections. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump's campaign team has alleged in a complaint filed over alleged meddling by the foreign political force. Labour Party officials have repeatedly advised Democrats about strategies party activists have worked on the ground in key swing states. The Labour Party insists such activities are legal because no money has been exchanged and there are no donations have been made to the Democrats. The Trump campaign's complaint to their Federal Election Commission alleges blatant foreign interference by Labor in the US elections in the form of apparent illegal foreign national contributions accepted by the Democrats and their candidate, Vice President Kamala Harris. Foreign nations are prohibited from making a contribution or donations of money or other things of value or to make an express or implied promise to make a contribution or donation in support of American candidate, directly or indirectly, their complaint said, citing U.S. law. So that's the, by the way, reality on the ground there, even though Western propaganda, including US propaganda outlets, by the way, and political class, love to hate Russia, love to see Russia just about everywhere, and they are constantly accusing Russia or in interference of in anything and everything. But in reality, just look at this news. By the way, Trump's camp is accusing UK's ruling party, UK's government, basically, of interfering in its election, and they have a quite significant basis on that, right? For that accusation. If Trump is going to win these elections, by the way, a number of European capitals kind of find it extremely difficult to achieve any to deal with Washington, basically, including London, because groups of or uh, power centers that are behind the Trump's candidacy definitely not gonna like what a number of European players are doing in regards to US. Anyways, let's continue. RT is reporting that Tulsi Gabbard, by the way, joins Republican Party. Former U.S. Democratic presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard has endorsed Donald Trump in the race for the White House, announcing that she has joined the Republican Party. Well, interesting developments. Tulsi Gabbard is well known, obviously, not just in US but worldwide. There are some topics. There are some topics that I find her position uh, you know, unacceptable to me. But not just unacceptable, that hardly understandable, hardly understandable. Uh, Although she has some, other takes that I guess uh, I guess many people uh, can understand when she's talking about less wars. Obviously, people will understand that when she's talking about uh, de-escalating with between nuclear superpowers. Um, One can understand that because she herself is a military, right? She is still serving in the National Guard, isn't it? Uh, she was deployed in a zone of conflicts a couple of times. She saw war with her own eyes, and I can understand why she is uh, for de-escalating between, for example, U.S. and Russia, or to not see further escalation, because she spoke several times how devastating uh, potential nuclear war between two super powers can be uh, if it will ever happen. But yet again, I mean, her stance on Israel. Um, I watched several videos of her, and yet again, I mean, U.S. political class is compromised, by the way, and it was quite upsetting to listen how she was basically kind of approving almost everything that her Israeli regime is doing. Uh, how and they kill tens of thousands of civilians. How you can justify that? Uh, and all this topic of 7th of October, which was a tragedy, obviously, but how can you justify one atrocity by another atrocity? I mean, what the hell? This is not the way uh, good faith human beings should operate to. But I don't know what kind of relationships he has with her APAC, right? US political class is compromised big time. So therefore, Israel is a topic when almost everybody in US political class is on the same page, with very few exceptions. Bernie Sanders, by the way, he's a Jewish, right? But he's a US citizen. He has some principles, as far as I understand. You may agree with some of his policies and disagree, but he is a harsh critic of the actions of the Netanyahu's regime, right? Because he sees all those crimes that Netanyahu's regime is committing. But there are some other politicians, vast majority of the political class in US has no guts to say anything at all, you know? Anyways, dear friends, that's the news that Tulsi Gabbard is joins Republican Party. She will bring some votes to Trump for sure. Uh, I have no doubts about that, and possibly she has some future in U.S. politics by being a member of the Republican Party. Who knows? Maybe she will be a presidential nominee in 4 years' time, or one of the nominees, and now from Republicans. So that's a possibility, isn't it? Anyways, let's continue. Zliad newspaper is reporting that data is known for a presidential election in Belarus now. These presidential elections will take place on 26th of January 2025, in relatively short time, in a couple of months. And the current president of Belarus, Lukashenko, stated that he will participate. He will participate in these elections, which means that he will be next president of Belarus. Um, that's how it is, by the way. And that's how it is. RT is also reporting that the European Court of Human Rights has ordered Russia to pay out hundreds of thousands of euros in compensation to 107 organizations and individuals it has designated as foreign agents Russia rejects the court's jurisdiction after leaving the Council of Europe in 2022, and obviously Moscow will pay nothing to foreign agents. Those people being designated as foreign agents for a reason, and not because they were some ordinary journalists or citizen journalists and were receiving donations from different from citizens of different countries. Not because of that, but because they were receiving funds from uh, organizations that are connected with the Western Secret Services, with the State Department of US, with the state institutions of the European states. So Russian authorities had their reason to designate these organizations and their individuals as a foreign agents, right? Those people were trying to push foreign interests in Russia, and uh, and no way they will be awarded. And after all, Russia not even recognizes jurisdiction of this European Court of Human Rights. US, by the way, can designate as a foreign agent or anybody, and it's okay. It's okay. European Court of Human Rights, or including European citizens, by the way, so they can apply in this so-called court, right? But you just don't give a damn about it, right? So why, from where this expectation is coming that Russia does cares about this extremely politicized uh, institution? I don't know. I don't know. One more, at least one more direct, basically, indicator how corrupt these so-called judiciary institutions in Europe really are. ICC, this this human rights court or something, and the rest of the garbage, by the way, that is created and controlled by Western ruling class. Let's continue. TASS news agency is reporting that Russia is planning to export 108 million ton of agricultural produce this year, which is quite a lot, isn't it? Quite a lot. This was stated by Vice Prime Minister of Russia, Dmitry Patrushev, during his interview with the Russia 24 media outlet TV channel. And well, even though 108 million tons of agricultural produce being exported is a big deal, give it another 10, 15, 20 years, by the way, and this number will double, maybe even triple, because obviously Russia has immense potential to be a major breadbasket of this world, major supplier of food for the humanity, and that's the direction that Russia is also moving. Businesses here in Russia are investing big time, not just in high-tech production, not just in energy sector or some other sectors, but also in agriculture. And the investments are huge. So therefore, I have expectations that this number of Russian exports when it comes to agricultural stuff is going to become much, much higher than it is already. And 108 million tons, by the way, it's quite a lot. It's a quite a lot. In 15, 20 years' time, agricultural exports probably will be one of the major sources of income for Russia, for Russian businesses and Russian federal budget. It is already one of the main sources, but it's going to go incomparably bigger. The Novosti is also reporting that Pakistan is planning to increase oil imports from Russia. This was stated by Prime Minister, aide of the Prime Minister of their country, Rana Ihsan Afzal Khan. Quite understandable move from Islamabad. Obviously, they see opportunity to make some good money, not just to buy energy for themselves, but also to re-export Russian oil and make some good money on that, like India does, by the way. Indian companies do, and well, good luck with that and with the competition, because there are many companies worldwide, not just in India but in other countries also, that want to be part of this business, right? And it's not going to be easy for Pakistan to become a significant player in this market, like India become. By the way, India now, if I remember correctly, is a number one supplier of oil products to Europe. While in a couple of years ago, India was, I guess, not even supply any oil products to Europe at all, or very little amount, little volume. And now India is a major or one of the major suppliers of oil products to Europe, uh, which is a great deal. By the way, it's a good stuff for India. It is good stuff for Russia. Both sides making business work, and it is understandable that companies from other countries want to have some share in this business also. And good luck with that. Vzglyad newspaper is reporting, and I will end this third part of today's first update on this. Good news, by the way, that we now know approximate date of beginning of the production of Russian MS-21 and Superjet new planes. This is civilian planes, obviously, and well, MS-21 will start serial production. Russian manufacturing plants will start serial production of their MS-21 planes in 2025, and serial production of Superjet new will start on 2026. Good news, obviously, and I really hope sometime in next 10 to 15 years, Russian aerospace industry will manage to grow so much so that they will be seen by Airbus as a competition. Hopefully, hopefully, because uh, because right now, obviously, there are still two major players on the market. One is Boeing, which is in terrible situation, and another is obviously Airbus, which is dominating the market. So to become a real competitor to this giant, obviously, you need some time and big investments and the top level planes. And according to reports that I see, MS-21 is a very capable modern plane as Superjet new is. So there is a chance there, obviously, and there are some other projects also. About it, there are some other projects also, and if Russian aerospace corporations will cooperate with China, by the way, with Chinese companies, they can reach this level of a true competitor to the Airbus or Boeing. If Boeing will survive current ordeal, will be fast tracked. Obviously, together, Russian and Chinese companies will reach that level significantly faster than separately. So maybe we will see some big time cooperation between Russian and Chinese companies in this regard in upcoming years. And this is it for now. This is it for now. Hopefully, you will find this update, this third part of today's first update, interesting and useful. And if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary just about anything. This is only way, dear friends, we can at least try to influence algorithm, especially on YouTube. And for same reason, if you can, please share information about my channel with your friends on internet or in real life. That might also help. And finally, if you like my work, if you like my channels, if you want to support, you can do it with donation through PayPal or Boosty platforms, or by subscribing to my Patreon page. Links are under this video in description box and in the pinned comments. And dear friends, if you have not seen first and second part of today's updates, please, today's first update, please check those videos also. They are packed with interesting, in my opinion, news. So that's it for now. As I already mentioned there in first part, today's final news update will be published on my Patreon page this evening, Patreon and Boosty pages this evening, with all the additional news that Russian media, main news that Russian media will report during the day. This is it for now. Have a great day and take care.